The internal representations of language meaning evolved partly from our pre-linguistic ancestors' knowledge of social relations. Remember, when we tell stories or listen to stories, they're always about social relations, all the time. Like modern monkeys and apes, our ancestors lived in groups with intricate networks of relationships that were simultaneously competitive and cooperative. The demands of social life created selective pressures for just the kind of complex, abstract, conceptual, and computational abilities that are likely to have preceded the earliest forms of linguistic communication. Although baboons have concepts and acquire propositional information from other animals' vocalizations, they cannot articulate this information. They understand dominance relations and matrilineal kinship, but have no words for them. This suggests that the internal representation of many concepts, relations, and action sequences does not require language, and that language did not evolve because it was uniquely suited to representing thought. Well, you know, as I mentioned to you in the last class, or maybe the previous class, not only do monkeys, baboons say, which are very complex, not only are they able to track dominance hierarchy structures without language, like lobsters are able to do it. So you can be very, very sure that the underlying basis for the linguistic representation of social interactions is deep beyond belief, since we share it with crustaceans. So it's very useful to know this because it also helps understand why certain things have intrinsic meaning, you know, like the dominance hierarchy and the position in the dominance hierarchy and the relative status of creatures is an intrinsically meaningful piece of information to us because it's an important determinant of our survival and reproductive opportunities. So the meaning is there. You don't have to learn it. You just have to figure out what to map it onto. And that means that kind of meaning, status-related meaning, is archetypal. It's built into you as the ground of understanding. So, and I'll show you something. Hopefully this will work. Be a miracle if it worked. There we go. Okay, so this, watch this. So we'll watch it one more time. Okay, so anybody willing to hazard a guess about what was happening there? It was an attack. That's one hypothesis. Yes. Anyone else? Let's look at the players once again. Well, so the poor little pink circle is trapped, and then it's trying to get out. And when it does get out, the big gray triangle shepherds it away, but that irritates the blue triangle, which shepherds it back into the box, and the gray triangle isn't able to enter. Something like that. You can tell a story about it. And does that, I don't know, like, I'm not saying that's the canonical interpretation of the triangle's behavior or any of that, but you would agree, I presume, that that's a reasonably plausible interpretation of what those triangles and circles were up to. Yes? Okay, well, no, right, because they're triangles and circles. But the point is that our ability to perceive social interactions is so deep that we can take entities that are only living insofar as they're moving in certain ways, and we immediately attribute, like, motivation to them. We can tell a little story about them, and we can also agree on the story. Now, you could say, well, it was sort of built in by the people who made the little animated demonstration, but that doesn't matter, because the point is they were able to build it in with virtually no representation whatsoever and communicate it, because they knew that we understand that sort of information. So